Today's gospel reading is super long and involves a list of the family tree of Jesus extending back to Abraham. It literally lists 45 relatives with wonderfully long and lovely Hebrew names that I would surely mispronounce if I were to read the whole long account. You've heard these types of passages in the Bible before. Matthew begins with, Abraham became the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers. And Matthew eventually concludes the list with, Eleazar became the father of Mathan, Mathan the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. Of her was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. Thus the total number of generations from Abraham to David is 14 generations. From David to the Babylonian exile, 14 generations. From the Babylonian exile to the Christ, 14 generations. If you look up the significance behind the number of generations and the historical events chosen to be included, there are many potential reasons to study and consider. It's also interesting to pursue the meaning for the gospel author to include only 4 mothers that made it on that list of all the men. To make your brain hurt even more, check out the discrepancies between Matthew's genealogy of Jesus and Luke's. Scholars have many theories, including the idea that while Luke names Joseph at the end, it's Mary's line that's actually traced back. Some say that Joseph had 2 fathers in that old tradition that said that if a man died, his brother was to marry the widow. All of this is historically interesting and drives us deeper into the traditions of Jewish culture and Old Testament history. But how does it connect with our faith today? Maybe we're to look at this cast of characters and recognize ourselves in the list. Can you trace your own last name back in history? The waters get muddied. Last names changed, and recorded history can get a little fuzzy at times. But this history was recounted over and over orally for years and years, and only notes first names. Dig deeper into the Old Testament to learn about these people. These are some curious characters, with many exposing what we might call tragic flaws if it were a work of fiction. But here we are thousands of years later, reading those names that mattered for the message, to let us know that Jesus was the king, the rightful heir to the throne of David, via Joseph and Mary's lineages. Family dynamics are often more complex than they appear. Sometimes there are deep wounds that cut to the core, and grave injuries inflicted that cause division and intolerable anger and separation. Just look at Cain and Abel, the first recorded siblings. Have you ever heard the theory that we become most influenced by the 5 closest companions we keep? It's interesting that we know so much about Jesus' mother and his friends and followers. Did Jesus recite this lineage back to the first people of Genesis? As one of the persons of the Holy Trinity, was he influenced by those he kept closest, or was he incapable of such sway? Who do you hold closest to you? Can you see their influence on your words, opinions, joy, work? Do you influence others? Will your name be recounted in thousands of years as part of a puzzle leading to the existence of someone eons in the future? We have a week left before the big day. My to-do list is still looming, and all of the niceties of the holiday need to be started or completed and literally wrapped up in a nice, neat bow. When you are named a saint in the future, think of the now and the past and the future that will be recounted on your behalf. Your family will be considered as an influence, as will those you choose to keep closest. Make good choices, be a good influence. How will your story be told? You may not realize it, but you are leaving an indelible mark on this place called Earth.